I was drowning, metaphorically, in pain and anxiety, depression, and going blind. I had other things going on, but those were the main things. So I think multifaceted. I discovered carnivore. The first hint I got was from Jordan Peterson talking about it. And then at some point I got a notion that arthritis is caused by inflammation, and inflammation is caused by sugar. It was a thought that I got in my mind, and I got on my phone. I was talking to the phone because I couldn't see anything on the phone at that point, and I'm just talking to the phone. Hey, phone, look up this information, anti-inflammation diets on YouTube, and just randomly pressing on the screen, trying to bring up something. So I found some different diets. That was the target.
Sean, could you tell us about your health journey and how did you discover carnivore?
Todd, that's a great question because it's multifaceted. It can go back multiple decades, really, back to 2006 when I was basically diagnosed as legally blind with a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which affects your night vision initially. And for me, everything got blurry. Things started to flash, and I had to get a white cane and a guide dog. And in 2018, I had eye tests done, and I could see nothing on the eye chart in 2018. I also got an iPhone at the same time, and I could barely use the iPhone to answer calls. So, you've got to swipe right on the button to answer phone calls. So I couldn't do that in 2018. Fast forward 2019, I'd also been suffering for a number of years with arthritis, and the pain was pretty bad. I'd done everything, all the scans, CT, ultrasound, cortisone injections, physiotherapy, chiropractor, osteopath, acupuncture, prescription medication, exercise. I tried losing weight because I was overweight, a little bit overweight. I'm a tall guy, so I can kind of get away with a bit of weight on me. I'm tall and skinny most of my life, so I didn't mind a bit of weight. But yeah, I tried with some swimming, and I did lose a bit of weight, but the pain didn't go away, and I was drowning, metaphorically, in pain and anxiety, depression, and going blind. I had other things going on, but those were the main things. So I think multifaceted. I discovered carnivore. The first hint I got was from Jordan Peterson talking about it. And then at some point I got a notion that arthritis is caused by inflammation, and inflammation is caused by sugar. It was a thought that I got in my mind, and I got on my phone. I was talking to the phone because I couldn't see anything on the phone at that point, and I'm just talking to the phone. Hey, phone, look up this information, anti-inflammation diets on YouTube, and just randomly pressing on the screen, trying to bring up something. So I found some different diets. That was the target, and I decided to do keto. I did keto for about 6 weeks, and I think, if I scroll back a little bit, I'd been doing daily intermittent fasting for about 18 months. And that was in mid-2023. I started this keto on the 11th of June. So I'd already sort of primed myself a little bit with daily intermittent fasting, which, by the way, it didn't fix anything. But I think it's a great adjunct. I'm actually in the middle of a fast right now. So in mid-2023, I started the keto diet, and I transitioned all the plants away within 6 weeks for various reasons. Not only that, what I had in the fridge was going off, I just chucked it out. Had plenty of meat, and I felt pretty good about that. I did have a bit of the oxalate dumping initially, so maybe the electrolyte imbalance I had, and I wasn't able to do much research because I was looking on the phone and just randomly pressing on things on the phone. So I was coming across some of the information, but I wasn't able to put everything together. So if I was to do my time again, I'd definitely have some electrolytes in the mix. But within 6 weeks, I noticed the pain was going away. Anxiety and depression, the sugar addiction withdrawals were gone within a few weeks. Anxiety and depression seemed to lift pretty quickly as well. The pain, which predominantly was in my right hip, was going away, subsiding. I believe also I stopped snoring. But all of this became sort of secondary because my eyesight after the 6-week period had changed. And I went to the optometrist here locally. I keep going back to the guy. And I've got another appointment on Wednesday in 2 days. Hopefully, fingers crossed, even another good eye test result. So I went to the optometrist, and well, I got a result on the eye chart in my right eye only. Left eye is still very dodgy, but you can see hand movements. But my right eye, I think when it was probably the fourth line down on the chart, and the guy said, "Well, you've got cataracts." You could see that, the optometrist could. So I went to an ophthalmic surgeon, got the cataract removed from my right eye, and my vision continued to improve. So cataract operation, typically, after a couple of weeks of repair, that's it. That's all you're going to get from a cataract operation. But my vision continued to improve. So when I saw the optometrist, it was 6/30. When I saw the ophthalmologist, it was 6/60, which is the very top of the chart. And so I started the diet 11th of June. So months and months and months later, I had the cataract operation in August. So it was September, October, November, December. During those 3 or 4 months, my eyesight went from 6/30 to 21 to 18 to 15 to 12. And I was pretty happy with that because I was able to see a lot better. I was able to see things on the phone. I was able to see the phone. Hey, Todd, I was able to see the phone. In 2018, 5 years before that, I wasn't able to see anything on the phone, literally. And it's continued to improve. The notable things are being able to read comments and actually navigate through the phone. And I've had to learn how to use the social media. Because of the damage in my right eye, I mean, I'm still looking through a very small hole, if you like, of good retina cells. So my field of vision isn't that great, but what I do see is very clear. It's got good edge. I have good edge detection, good color detection. So my visual acuity is dramatically better. So January 2024, I did World Carnivore month, and I decided I'll do the lion diet. I'm brave. And I'm glad I did because there was a noticeable difference in my vision. I was getting some blurriness sort of during those times, and I was able to sort of rule the blurriness out, or more identify that dairy gives me this blurriness. And then I later found out there's a term, visual snow. There's a syndrome, visual snow syndrome. So this visual snow syndrome, it's like being in a snowstorm. Everything turns white, and I've got other things going on, but that seems to be controllable as well. So if I keep away from dairy for 3 days, this visual snow goes away, and if I keep away from dairy for about 3 weeks, it minimises it almost completely. Although it does come and go. So January 2024, World Carnivore month, my eyesight continues to improve. I was 6/12, which is the fourth last line on the chart. And then 2024, 2025, I'm on the 12 line. I'm also then on the 9 line, 6/9. So it's the third last line on the eye chart. And my last, what will I talk to about first? So I've been doing tests with many sites, different ophthalmic surgeons, some professors, some neuro-ophthalmologists, a fellow in Sydney. So I've been going to a lot of places, and I have found that every time I do a visual acuity test, especially, their test equipment, their setup is different from the next place. So there is no standard test in visual acuity for optometry. So you can get a visual test at one place and go to another place, you'll get a different result. So that's something I had to deal with. But now I've gone to a number of different places, and my main ophthalmologist, they've recorded the changes from 6/60 to 6/9. My optometrist has recorded 6/30 to 6/ and per my last, and this is the best one, per my last optometrist appointment, is 6/7.5 -2. So 7.5, that's the second last line on the eye chart. I got 3 letters. I was missing 2 letters on the eye chart. And in 2 days' time, I'm going to try to repeat that and try to beat that score. So Todd, I've gone, and I should be talking about arthritis, because the question is, how did you start a carnivore? What happened? And now it's all about the eyesight. And now I've got to tell other people about it, because I think there's a lot of people that could potentially reduce their inflammation, reduce their toxic load, their chronic overburden of toxins from plants, definitely reduce their sugar, their carbohydrates intake, and see what happens to their eyesight. I think across the board, we're going to see people improving their eyesight. So I've got to get my knowledge out there, my experience. So I tell my story as best I can. My last test was 6/7.5 -2. So that's the top of the eye chart to the second last line. A couple of days, maybe I'll even go to the last line on the chart. That would be amazing. I don't know what to say, but I've cured arthritis. That's gone. Anxiety and depression is gone. I just have normal amounts of anxiety now, dealing with daily pressures. Quite well. I mean, I had a meeting just before this, and I had to get this computer ready, and I was up at 6:30 in the morning mucking around with stuff. So life's, dealing with stuff's pretty good. The constipation, I had high blood pressure. It's all good. It's all fine. I had the worst tummy rumbling of the world. Like, if I lie down at night, like, my tummy would just be rumbling. And if I was hungry, my tummy would rumble. It was just constantly making noises. Now my stomach is pretty much silent. And if I'm hungry, I don't get that stomach rumbling noises, which is great. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Wow, that's incredible. Like, I've never heard of someone restoring eyesight by going carnivore. That's unbelievable.
Todd, I have heard it over and over and over again. I started this YouTube. I started diet 2.5 years ago, and it took me a year before I decided, I've got to do some YouTube videos and tell my story. And then it took another 6 months to realize, hey, there's a whole bunch of other people talking about a carnivore diet helping their eyesight. So I've been watching another Zero Carb Life, Dave Mack's channel.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No Carb Life. Yeah. So listening to those people tell their stories, there's a lot of people that are just sort of mentioned, I've been on carnivore and I did it for this reason and this reason, and it's helped. Oh, also my eyesight's improved, and my glasses, I don't need glasses. I had to change my prescription. I've heard this over and over and over again. I've interviewed people with reverse their glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy. I've interviewed people, talked to people with prescribed, diagnosed macular degeneration that have reversed it. I have come across 2, 3, 4 people on carnivore. One fellow's 6 years in with my condition. I think, I think this other lady as well. So Phil and Hannah as well, 6 years in. I don't know if she's full carnivore, definitely low carb. So, and a 15-year-old boy who started, and he's also got the same condition. And the feedback I got from his dad was he can now see the stars at night. So you didn't know that carnivore can help your eyesight. Well,
No.
you've probably heard that carnivore can help your brain, right? You've heard that before?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So how do you see? Your eyes don't see anything.
Yeah, true.
Right. What does the brain actually does the seeing. So your vision is all about your brain. And you think, well, how can you make your brain, so by improving your brain, how does that make you see better? Well, okay, so the brain's interface is up nerves, optic nerves and neurons and things like this. They're very much prone to inflammation. So if you can reduce that inflammation, toxic overburden, all these sort of things, you will see better. And I've proven that by raising my ketone levels through fasting whilst wearing a CKM, a continuous ketone monitor. So I can tell my ketone levels are higher. I then went and did an eye test, much like I'm going to do in a couple of days, on the raised ketone levels. And that's when I got the best improvement. So not only do I know that vision gets improved because it's your brain, I can actually correlate it to raised ketones. And I think that's very unique. And I hope there's some doctors and scientists will pick this up and run with it, because there is potential for understanding a curative pathway, I believe.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it all makes sense, because you were saying about that, the brain power and that inflammation, that's what's causing, or I guess disrupting, that signal from the brain to your eye. So as you said there, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that's right. So it's not like a camera and a broken lens. There's a lot more going on in the circuitry of a camera, if you know what I mean. And if you're able to improve that circuitry, it doesn't really matter if your lens is a bit broken. It's able to accomplish or more deal with that damage. And that's certainly what's going on with me with my left eye. Which I should say, at the start of 2025, I think it might have been January, February, I did a test, and in my left eye, I got 3 letters. So at the very, very top of the chart, I think the 6/60 and the 6/48 line. So a couple of letters, 3 in total. I haven't been able to replicate that since then. And I think what's going on with my left eye is, well, I'd like to think it's repair, but the genetic disease I have has a lot of facets. Oxidation is one of them. So if I'm able to identify things that reduce oxidation, like an anti-inflammatory diet and not eating sugar, that's a good thing. But other things also that I have been trying out. I know people that have been trying out different supplements, omega-3, fish oils, cod liver oil, that sort of thing. So I've tested out a few things. I'm testing out something just at the moment, but I'll tell you a bit more about that after this. So that's my story, Todd. Fascinating.
Yeah,
I never would have thought.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's interesting, you also mentioned having anxiety, depression. I found the exact same results on Carnivore. I used to have really bad anxiety. I used to hate being in social situations. Like doing something like this 12 months ago, I would have been petrified. There was no way I'll be on camera talking to people. yeah, it's hard to explain unless you actually experience it. You just can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you won't know that you're in the fog unless you get out of the fog. It's unbelievable how I was able to function before, and knowing how I feel now, it's just like, man, how did I cope? I mean,
Mm,
really, how do people cope when they're feeling this stressed out, this anxious, pretty much
mm,
all the time? I feel so sorry for young children these days, and not so much even the modern world, but the poison that we're feeding them is causing this problem, and we're putting it down to, hey, the kid's got a problem. You know, it's your fault, and you're broken, which is the wrong message. They're not broken. It's not their fault, and it's our fault, and we can do something about it. Parents, we need to do something about it. I actually feel a little bit riled up about it because I know how easy it is just to do the right thing, and to change people's ways is just so hard.
mm.
Change people's thinking is so hard, but actually doing it, super simple. Yeah, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Thank you, Dr. Berry. But it's as simple as eating when you're hungry. Just eat the right food, and then when you eat the right food, that's all you need to do. It's fuel, and you're fueling your body. And when you've got enough fuel, you'll get the signal that says, okay, that's enough. You don't need to eat anymore. Okay, put it away. And if you don't need to eat for the rest of the day, or for half the day, or whatever your regime is. I mean, for me, I eat once a day.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll have a few snacks with a bit of cheese. I got to cut down on the cheese, but it's just too easy once you get your head around it, and it's good for you, and it's good for your kids. That's the message we need to get out. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, like looking back when I was at school, there's always that one kid, right, that's always easily distracted, can't focus, can't complete tasks. I was that kid. I feel like now,
No, that was me. I got my hand up, sir. Please, sir. Can I just leave? I want to go outside. I don't want to be in here. It's terrible.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I think now,
How
whereas
I actually dealt with it, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know, I
you
feel
go.
like kids playing up now, they would say, "Oh, your child's got ADD or ADHD," but now it's just like if you just change what you're eating and just remove the garbage, like it's just so much easier to focus and get things done.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. And we've been taught by the mass media, this is what you do to have healthy children. And
Mm,
it's the absolute polar opposite. I like to say the bipolar opposite, because you feed this to your children, you will have bipolar kids.
mm,
It messes with their brain. Uh, and that's just the food, let alone the additives, the emulsifiers, the fillers, the ingredients that have names longer than your arm, that you can't pronounce. That's not food. It never was food. And if you're feeding it to yourself or anybody else, you know, think whole food. This is what we need to do. I don't care if people eat fruit and vegetables, or meat or whatever. It's not the point. It's the ultra processed food that's going to kill people, and quickly and early, and some get it really early in life, and this is what we want to avoid. Um, but yep, focusing on the meat, and if you're damaged already, you might need a carnivore diet, and if you're really damaged, you might need the lion diet, and that's what I do most days. I'm not always strict, and I'm happy that I'm not in a cult there. I need to be strict either. So if someone sees me on the street eating something that's not carnivore, woohoo! Take a picture. Don't care. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
awesome.
What's your feelings on being strict with carnivore? Because it's been a bit of a topic recently.
Yeah, I have gone back and forth. I have tried lion diet a few times, but I find that quite difficult to sustain because I'm in Melbourne. We have a big coffee culture here. I've been a barista most of my life, so letting go of coffee is a bit hard.
Yep.
But Days, yeah, it's butter, bacon, eggs, beef, fish a couple times a week just to get the omega-3s in. But I do kind of go back and forth from just, more strict and then a little bit, a couple of other things on the side. Yeah.
Sure. Excellent. No, that's great. Okay. Well, so I guess looking for the future, I'm going to continue doing the diet. Barely call it a diet, call it a lifestyle, call it a way of life. Just the way it is, I guess, now. And everybody in my life's really happy with it. They've obviously seen the changes from being, obese to happy and being able to see better. I'm still, I still need the guide dog. I still need the white cane. But hey, look, I mean, I'm talking to you on the computer. You're a handsome looking fella with your mo and your beard, and you look like a barista too. And so, to be able to do stuff on the phone and on the computer, with my history with computers as a programmer, I mean, I've been thinking about doing some programming. Nothing too hard. I've done a little bit, batch and scripts and stuff like this, but what I used to do was really high level, high tech stuff. So I'm, poking around AI and learning a lot, actually, learning a heap, and doing the YouTube channel. Can I promote that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, folks, look for Eyes on Carnivore. It's an EYES on Carnivore. I'm on all social media, so that's everywhere, and on YouTube. If you want to send me an email, that's eyesoncarnivore@gmail.com. I don't do any coaching or anything like that. I just sort of tell my story. That's what I want to do, and do a little bit of experimenting, self-experimentation, and trying to see if there's other things that might work as an adjunct to the carnivore diet. But I think what I've found so far is working pretty good. So, food, clean water, filtered water, plenty of sunshine, plenty of sleep, getting that sunshine into my eyes first thing in the morning and last thing at night. So trying to get into the sunrise and sunset. Some exercise, although, I mean, I have never done a lot of exercise. I'm kind of a bit more of a bookworm, I guess, but the getting out the sun, getting some exercise, clean water, good food, some friends and family, and learning, something to do, something to look forward to, someone to love. There's three key elements to life, and I've got all three in abundance. Maybe a few gaps I can fill in, but I'm pretty happy with life, Todd. And 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I was pretty close to giving up hope. I'm pretty sure, things were not looking good. I was getting electric shocks in the heart and nerve problems, and I was lined up to have a big crash. So this thought, this idea I got in the back of my head, thank you, God, or whoever, I have a lot of good to do in the world, hopefully now, instead of feeling sorry for myself.
That's awesome. Yeah, like it's really hard because if you've been in like that really dark place and you've had depression, anxiety, as you mentioned, it's really hard to pull yourself out of it. But I think, as you mentioned, getting good sleep, getting sunlight, eating real food, it can make a massive change. Yeah.
Yep. Indeed. And sunny Melbourne. Sorry, is that an oxymoron?
Oh, it's temperamental.
Yeah. No, I love Melbourne. I love Australia. It's great. So to wrap up, I think that's about it. And Todd, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. There's actually one question I had for you on your YouTube channel. There's a video you did about censorship.
Yes.
And you
Yep.
mentioned you were kicked out of a Facebook group, and the moderator wasn't happy you were promoting Carnivore. Could you talk a bit about that?
Sure. Okay. So I'm in a number of disability groups, Facebook groups, specifically for my eyesight condition, retinitis pigmentosa. And a number of the groups I've been, I say number of them, sounds like a lot. I think at least 2 groups I've been kicked out of in the past, and this is months and months ago. But the recently I joined a group and they kicked me out for talking about the carnivore diet. But they also posted a piece, did a post, which is like a hit piece on the carnivore diet, and it was done by the admin of the group, who's a nurse, who thinks that she has the knowledge. She thinks she knows the science, and therefore she has the right to kick me out and put the propaganda up. So I did a debunked video about this person, sorry, not the person, but the group and the post, specifically debunking the propaganda that's commonly put out there, lacking vitamin C, don't have enough fiber, all this BS that they come up with. They're just no brains. They don't even think about what they're saying. They're just repeating stuff. And, you can have the smartest person in the world. I've got 5 degrees. Someone said to me recently, I don't care how many degrees you got. Are you going to think about the question? Why is my eyesight getting better? No clue. Instead, we're just going to ignore this. We're going to poo-poo the keto and carnivore diet and, post that propaganda and kick you out. So I was able to infiltrate the group again, take some screenshots and do a reaction video, if you like. I've done a few reaction videos, someone that pisses me off. I'll basically set the record straight. Yeah, doctors saying stupid things. If they're going to say stupid things, well, I can react to that and basically put the record straight. And it happens all the time. So try to self-censor myself and just do something that's worthwhile. So next video will be about my vision improvement test. Hopefully, a vision improvement test. Fingers crossed. That'll be in a couple of days. And the one after that's going to be about calories. Working on the script now.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll leave a link to your YouTube channel and your social media in the description of this video. People can go and check that out because it's fascinating.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Sean. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate the time to speak to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.